Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this debate on the draft report of the Election and Boundaries Commission, Order 2021. Madam Chairman, before I proceed, I must say how disappointed I am in the members opposite for coming here and trying to denigrate and badmouth the EBC, the Election and Boundaries Commission. Madam Speaker, I will take you through why we are here and how we got here. Madam Speaker, they are very well aware, so many lawyers on that side, but instead of getting here and informing and educating the people of Trinidad and Tobago, they have chosen once again to play petty politics, to tell stories far from the truth, Madam Speaker, and mislead the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Madam Speaker, this piece of legislation, or this order, Madam Speaker, would pave the way for new and fresh Tobago House of Assembly elections. Here we are. We know about the deadlock that would have taken place, and we are now prepared to do what is necessary to resolve this unprecedented situation. This is not the first time we have had a tie in elections in the country, Madam Speaker. You would remember the 1717 tie when the NAR came forward in 1995 and broke the tie, and then again the 1818 tie. This has never happened in Tobago. So we haven't had to make law to treat with the Tobago House of Assembly. The laws of Trinidad and Tobago provide for the Prime Minister, whenever there's a tie or a situation like this, Mr. Manning could have called an election the following day. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago could dissolve the Parliament and call an election when necessary. Or laws of Trinidad and Tobago does not provide for the same in the case of the Tobago House of Assembly or in the case of the Chief Secretary, Madam Speaker. So there was a lacuna in the law. So we didn't have the necessary provisions to treat with this matter as it relates to Tobago and the Tobago House of Assembly. So we had to do what is necessary as a responsible government, where the law is not applicable or doesn't treat properly with a situation, to amend law. That is why we have a parliament. No specific law is written in stone. And when situations arise, we come back to this same parliament, the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, to make the necessary law to treat with the situation. So to come here and to try to fool the people of Trinidad and Tobago to make us feel like the government did something wrong or the EBC did something wrong, those people on that side gave themselves silk. They should know the law, Madam Speaker, and they should know very well that the laws of Trinidad and Tobago does not provide the same powers for the Chief Secretary as it does for a Prime Minister to dissolve the Parliament at any time. So what were we expected to do as Tobagonians? Wait out the 4 years? And even in doing so, we didn't have a functional Tobago House of Assembly. Here we are 8 months later, Madam Speaker, and the Tobago House of Assembly has not been properly constituted. No presiding officer, no minority leader, no majority or minority councillors. They cannot meet. The development of Tobago is in limbo. We have a holdover executive council waiting for the situation to be resolved. We try all kinds of approaches, trying to have them move forward peacefully until the internal self-government legislation is passed, power sharing arrangements and so on. And to this day, they couldn't come to a place where they can move forward peacefully and in keeping with the law. Those who are from Trinidad and don't have to be bothered by that in Tobago, you could stand at the side and say, oh, let's just see how it plays out. But that doesn't augur well for the development of Tobago and Tobagonians. As a responsible government, it is our business, it is our duty to do our research, to find the necessary advice, and to do what is necessary for the people of Tobago to go back to the polls. Hence the reason we came here in February, brought this piece of legislation, had it passed. How did we come up with 15 seats, Madam Speaker? We know very well from that debate and from participating in the Internal Self-Government Joint Select Committee that this had been what was proposed by the people of Tobago from years of consultation, over 10 years of consultations, of which I have been a part, and the report that was sent to the Parliament in 2016 for 15 seats for better representation and to create an odd number for the people of Tobago. That is not the government's position. That was the position of the people of Tobago. And we came here to this Parliament and passed that legislation. So I just find it so disingenuous, and I'm so disappointed that even in this day and age where there is access to so much information, that those who are lawyers and those who are experienced in this Parliament and have gone as far to give themselves silk and would have even tried to get Tobagonians to pull a straw, to pull straws. Tell me, Madam Speaker, in 2021, in a modern democracy of educated people, where we are seeing elections and democratic processes taking place all over the world, and you would come to a people of 50,000 plus educated people to tell us to pull straws in 2021? Madam Speaker, that's a no. That is a no. And anybody who prescribes or recommends that cannot be sober or sane, and we reject it, we condemn it. That must be decried, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I'll tell you also, I hear the member for Barataria saying, we in Trinidad, you have 41 people in Trinidad speaking about what should happen in Tobago. It's not right for 41 people in Port of Spain to speak, to decide what happens in Tobago. Madam Speaker, this is the government of Trinidad and Tobago. This is the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, Madam Speaker. And this is where laws are made, this is where laws are amended, this is where laws are improved and changed. It cannot happen anywhere else. When we brought to this Parliament the Joint Select Committee and the legislation to allow the Tobago House of Assembly under this bill that was brought to the Parliament earlier this year, in June, July, Madam Speaker, to give the Tobago House of Assembly and the people of Tobago under Schedule 2 the opportunity to make laws for their Parliament or their Tobago House of Assembly, the opposition abdicated their responsibility. They walked out on the process, Madam Speaker. That was your opportunity to give us the ability to make laws, to do what is necessary as it relates to our Parliament or our Assembly in Tobago. That was your chance, and you walked out. You turned your back on the people of Tobago. So to come here and say you don't understand how 41 people in Port of Spain making decisions for people in Tobago, that is disingenuous, and that is hypocrisy, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to say that we are elected Ayanna Webster Roy in Tobago East and Shamfa Cudjoe in Tobago West, elected overwhelmingly also, Madam Speaker. We speak for the people of Trinidad, of Tobago, and Trinidad and Tobago, Madam Speaker. And when it's time to make decisions and to speak and to represent, we are present, Madam Speaker. We did not walk out here of this Parliament. We spent long days in Joint Select Committee working on behalf of the people of Tobago, unlike those opposite who walked out, Madam Speaker, much like what they did in 2013, gallivanted themselves all over Tobago with the TOP, and on the night of the January election in 2013, they left Ashworth Jack there, cold pilau, hot beers, as they scuttled their way back to Trinidad. They abdicated their responsibility and turned their backs on Tobago, much like they are doing now, Madam Speaker. So there is much talk about 25% of the electorate voted for the PNM, and that is not enough for the PNM to speak for Tobago. If not the People's National Movement, who have represented and spoken on behalf of Tobago, who Tobagonians chose for the past 20 years, then who? Ayanna Webster Roy in the East and Shamfa Cudjoe in Tobago West, who have been voted in not once, but twice. This is our 6th year where the people of Tobago have expressed their confidence in us. If not The members of the People's National Movement, then who? It certainly cannot be the members of the UNC, Madam Speaker, because after they left in 2013, many of them did not return.
One, please. I'm trying to understand the report, the EBC report.
Please continue. Many of them did not return, Madam Speaker, after they left in 2013. If they had returned, Madam Speaker, then the member for Barataria would have known that, one, that polling division that he's speaking about in Lambo that moved to the Canaan Bonaccord, to the Canaan area, Madam Speaker, the People's National Movement, not even in the days of William the Conqueror, we did not win that polling division. So how could that be to our benefit? Madam Speaker, he would have also known that he's asking us, why wasn't Mason Hall, Providence, Moriah split up? And the EBC said so in its report on pages 8 through 10. Why? If you know the terrain of Mason Hall, Moriah, you know why it was critical to keep them together. And if you try to separate it, what would happen? I'm from Mason Hall, Madam Speaker. And then the member of Barataria pulls out his map and is recommending that the EBC should create an electoral district in the main ridge, Madam Speaker. In the main ridge, Madam Speaker, the main ridge is the oldest forest reserve in the Western Hemisphere. The third highest as it relates to biodiversity in the nation, 350 different plant species, 12 endemic to the area, Madam Speaker. Nobody lives there. So to recommend to the EBC, oh, pulling out your map, places you have never been, because they encourage their fans and their supporters not to visit Tobago and not to participate in Tobago tourism. So all he knows is the map. And all they know about Tobago is to wear green on the days that we are going to debate anything related to Tobago in support of the PDP, because you sense a little power, you sense you'll be able to ride the PDP back to leadership in Tobago, Madam Speaker. And that is all they know. They don't care to learn, but they want to lead. And that, Madam Speaker, is just really, really, really disappointing. So we as government, Madam Speaker, we have done our duty to come here and to change the legislation to do what is necessary. We have done our homework. Tobago West, Madam Speaker, I hear them saying that the EBC is working with the PNM to gerrymander and to split up Tobago West. If you know anything about Tobago, it's the most densely populated area of the island, Madam Speaker. And in Tobago, there is no safe seat. You see, you could speak the language. They can speak the language they speak because they don't know or understand the people of Tobago. We are educated as it relates to exercising our votes. Madam Speaker, I'll tell you, when I first ran for Tobago West in 2015, the TOP was rolling heavy in Tobago East and Tobago West, but we had to do our homework and present the best candidates to the people of Tobago East and West, and we won those seats and they voted for us again. In Tobago, the PNM was out of office for over 20 years. The Tobago House of Assembly was established in the 1980s, in 1980, Madam Speaker. It wasn't until 2000, 2001 that we got to lead the Tobago House of Assembly. And since then, the people of Tobago has expressed confidence in us for over 20 years after. So we had spent our time in the valley. But we did our homework because we know that you get what you work for. So we walk the length and breadth of Tobago. It's about listening, it's about learning, it's about keeping in touch. And today, more than ever, it's about remaining informed and helping constituents to be informed too. Because that is the biggest fight that we fight today. Miseducation of the electorate, fooling people. And I can tell you, Madam Speaker, we in the PNM, we have some work as it relates to that. Because we say, okay, the PNM machinery is tried, tested, and true, and people would figure out sense from nonsense. But after Cambridge Analytica, if you think that has passed, and that fooling of the electorate has passed, it is alive, well, and kicking with all the fake news that they push through Trinidad and Tobago day in, day out, Madam Speaker. So we have work to do on our side too. Even in walking and talking to people and hearing the things that the opposition have told them and they believe, we have work to do too, and the old PNM way would not work as it relates to that. We have to step up our game as it relates to finding out the information and sharing that information in a way that the electorate could understand and embrace. So we all have our work to do. All these electoral districts, all these polling divisions were touched in some way or the other. Moved here, moved there in order to create the 15 seats. And no matter where they move them, the educated and right-thinking people of Tobago are going to make the choices that help in their development, in the advancement of Tobago, what is best for themselves and their children. So all this foolery here today about the EBC working with the PNM, it is poppycock, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the EBC is older than I am. The EBC has been around since 1962 and has a long, strong, proud history of being independent, being professional, being reasonable, being fair. The EBC has been sought after in Trinidad and Tobago, in the region, and throughout the world. And they have done their work. It's only when, throughout the history of the UNC, and even back to the ULF, when they lose, that is when they challenge the integrity of the EBC. And every time they've taken the EBC to court, they have lost. The EBC has stood the test of time and have faced every scrutiny and have come out on top. So anybody, opposite or elsewhere, who try to jeopardize, to bring down, to decry, to emasculate the EBC should be ashamed. And I don't expect that from people who have all this experience, who call themselves lawyers and doctors in this parliament, to come here to mislead Trinidad and Tobago like that. We as Tobagonians, we are comforted that we are going to face the polls and we are not going to be pulling straws. And we are going to make an intelligent and educated decision about our future and about our children's future. And we know nothing works but work. And when that date is called, we are going to be ready. And the people of Tobago are going to get who they voted for. But let them vote. Let them exercise their franchise. Let them go out there and do what they have to. And whoever they choose to lead them would lead them, and we hope would lead them to that place where they have gotten to that level of development that they so desire. And we as the People National Movement, in government or in opposition, would continue to work in the best interest of the people of Tobago, like Trinidad and Tobago, like we have done since 1962, and like we have done since we entered Tobago's leadership in 2001, Madam Speaker. That is the PNM. We know no other way for the red, white, and black, for Trinidad and Tobago, for our children and our grandchildren. We are the People's National Movement. Win or lose, we are about Trinidad and Tobago. So we would not be dissuaded by what they say. We have a role to play in developing this country from here, from generation to generation. Many of them came and met us, and they would leave us here, the People's National Movement. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Tabakit.